we go. Opinion or knowledge, how long was he an informant?
I think probably since the 90s.
Wow.
We had a conversation before, and if you look at the things he was able to do, you were able to do all these things, nothing happened. His friend, one of his partners, they got convicted for selling drugs for the company. Nothing never happened to him. And he got Obama to give him a pardon with no problem at all. I couldn't go to Obama and say, hey, my childhood friend is in prison for life, let him go. It would never happen.
That's for sure. And that did happen with Puffy.
We would be having, 1,000%.
You think Obama had anything to do with any of these parties that he had?
Absolutely.
Wow.
You got presidents, you got preachers. T.D. Jakes is one of the biggest black preachers around that everybody loves. Everybody in prison, if they try to get the word of religion, they're not going to the chapel somewhere. They're turning to watch T.D. Jakes. He had to resign from his whole community.
That's right.
You talking about the top of the top.
Unbelievable.
Of the top.
Whoo! My friends, it's getting spicy up in here. Can you feel it? It's getting hot. So hot, yeah. Getting hot in this craziness. If you're on the wrong side of the law, my God, folks. My God. Get ready. Oh, I just saw my picture. I'm actually clear tonight. So Rumble Studios getting it back. Maybe not. It looks like it just went blurry again. That's awesome. Thanks, Rumble. I tried. I gave it one night. One night I went to YouTube only, and it was perfect. The stream was beautiful. And now Rumble Studios just killing me again. I'm blurry. I'm sorry, guys. Looks like I'm going to have to go away from Rumble longer than just one night. But, oh well, tonight we'll get by with the live. Sorry about the blur. Sounds better. I know how that works. But anyways, let's say hey to some people. But we got a show tonight. Holy smokes, Obama got name dropped in the Diddy trial. We're going to cover that, break down exactly what was said. It's explosive, and things are happening, folks. And then Trump dropped a massive truth bomb as well, I think giving a clue to where he's headed. And finally, we got lots going on in the markets and what's going on there with especially with finger motion, but also in the general cleanup. So, folks, get ready because it's getting spicy. It's getting spicy. But first, I gotta say hey to some peeps in here. McGruff, a new number one. Don't know if you've ever been number one before, sir. Welcome and congratulations. US1, what's up, man? Kessink, Rodney Allen, Uncle Andy, Moody. How you doing, Moody? Cindy Lou, Donkey, CR Sports Car, what it do, what it be? Zach Butterfield, Vince, Auto Max, Just Mike, Kalar. You think I'm procrastinating? Ouch, brother. You cut me deep. You cut me deep, Shred. You cut me deep. Danny Gigal, Chad C. Scott Volkovich, Randy Albert, Barefoot DC, what's up? Gary Ball, Nate Dog, Randy Atwell, CJ Yukon, Kathy, Heidi Moga, Jeff Huckleberry, Patrice, Thomas Dubois, my brother. Fist bump, baby. Hero at large, 5 stars here, giving the middle finger to the shorts. Alan Krantz, Barbara, Togram guys Rumble notification. Well, that works. Uncle Andy, Obama's body man. Reggie Love is Obama's boyfriend. In the White House. Oh, you're not supposed to be able to say that, friend. Ooh. Butters, what's up? Dave Ardondito, what's up, man? Pac Lolo. So now what? Husker Power, Pedro Rod. You're welcome, brother, for posting that. We got a faith section now in the Discord, and he's very excited about it. All right, Marco Sanchez, Gerald, and AP, what is going on? All right, I think I said hey to almost all of you. Sorry if I missed you. Okay, we got to get through this because I got a lot to cover. All right, so Whew. All right. Well, let's just start with the Obama Diddy stuff because this is spicy, and then we'll continue on to everything else. So, here's another little video. Peace be sharing, and well, you guys tell me what you think.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all. Thank you. And I just want to say how much I appreciate Puff Daddy for doing the kinds of work that he's doing, because he doesn't have to do this. But this is part of what is important about giving back.
We applaud you, and I want to apologize for not sweating, but I do this so much. I'm so cool. I just want y'all to see everybody I'm interviewing is sweating. I'm not even touching my brow. I'm so cool, and I want to apologize. I ain't trying to make you look bad or nothing like that, but I'm just so cool. We
a t-shirt. I tell you, if he was wearing one of those fancy designer clothes he's designing, he'd be sweating just like me.
Yeah,
I just want to thank Mr. P Diddy for bringing me that baby oil. As I tell you what, without the baby oil, it gets a little sticky, if you know what I mean. And I was telling Michael, I don't know, what are you going by today, Michael? Anyways, telling him about the baby oil. And that baby oil just made everything so smooth. And Diddy, he got baby oil so far everywhere. It's amazing. And so, thank you, Diddy, for the baby oil. Just don't talk about it in that court case. Dang it. Dang it. Oh, man. He's sweating just like me. This is insanity, guys. It is insanity.
No, thank you.
We've been hearing this stuff forever. The people deep diving, we knew, but man, oh man, it is starting to bust open. Obama is one of the big ones that nobody wanted to admit, except for the people who've done the research, that he is one of the dirty ones, been a problem for a long time. And now today, we got our first mainstream evidence we've ever seen. And it's spicy. It's very spicy. We got Liz Crokin right here, who breaks it down a little bit for us. She says, boom, Barack Obama mentioned at Diddy's trial, further implicating him in Pizzagate. Diddy's former assistant, David James, testified today Diddy was taking drugs daily, along with many other A-list Hollywood celebs, including Percocets and ecstasy pills in the shape of Obama's face. That's a whole new level of narcissism right there. Ecstasy pills in your face. James testified there was a one-stop shop drug dealer who met with a lot of people, including former presidents, and he named Obama. It's no surprise Obama entered the chat. Here's why and how Obama ties to Pizzagate. Suge Knight, that's the clip we saw at the beginning, claimed Obama attended accused sex trafficker Diddy's parties. We heard it here. WikiLeaks exposed Obama flew in $65,000 worth of pizza and hot dogs, confirmed pedo code words. Chicago for a private White House party using clandestine channels on the taxpayer's dime. On May 14th, 2009, Fred Burton, chief security officer at Stratfor, sent an email to Don Kuykendall with others CC'd via WikiLeaks global intelligence files. The email read, I think Obama spent about $65,000 of the taxpayers' money flying in pizza and hot dogs from Chicago for a private party at the White House not long ago. Assume we're using the same channels. Obama also had a secret Alice in Wonderland party at the White House during recession. Alice in Wonderland is symbolic to the satanic pedophile cabal. Likes of Jeffrey Epstein, Hillary Clinton, and their associates use Disney characters as code names and words. WikiLeaks exposed via their emails Hillary's nickname is Alice and her colleague is dubbed the Mad Hatter. Not good. By the way, guys, if I get cut tonight, you guys know Rumble and X will still be streaming me just in case this stream gets cut, because this stuff they don't like getting out there. Then the suspicious death, most likely murder of Obama's longtime chef, who no doubt was fully aware they engaged in satanic spirit cooking dinners. Chrissy Teigen, best known for tweeting about pedophilia, who said in an interview when asked the best place her and her creep husband John Legend ever had sex, and replied, the Obama thing. Let's also not forget Joe Biden and Obama exchanged children's bracelets with pizza charms on them and boasted about it on social media. And then Maggie Nixon, allegedly his child sex slave. You might want to research this one. It goes way deeper and darker than you could imagine. And here is some of the posts. Obama, Diddy, we got the email, we got Joe and Barack, we got them sitting Alice in Wonderland with Michelle and Obama right there. Pretty crazy stuff. This rabbit hole goes deep. And the fact he was named today is insanity. The little ecstasy pills with his face on them were crazy. I mean, so this Diddy trial, which I got to be honest with you, had been disappointing for the most part up until today. It just blew open. It just blew open because no matter what, whether they figure it out, they get them off, they, however it goes, this is going to destroy Obama in the sight of the public forever going forward. There's no walking back from this one. They'll try, and there'll be Democrats that cover, but this is going to be a tough one to get away from. Bob Wren said, could this be why Big Mike's supposedly divorcing Barack? I don't know. That's a good point. Moody, how long do you think the witness lasts? I don't know. The fact that they already got to the stand means they probably might be okay because the testimony is already out there. Tokram says, Q said numerous times, these people are sick. Those who know cannot sleep. Exactly. Which Trump alluded to in his speech the other week, interesting enough. Stoney said we saw Big Mike's young on Ellen's show we've known for years. Oh my gosh. Pizza. Steve Harvey talked about Baby on Pizza. I didn't see that one. Tokram says he was on the Lowe's Croak in space until I went live. Interesting. Yeah, I'm telling you. Billy Cooper's asked about MMTLP. Let's talk markets in a little bit, but I don't know. I don't know if it's over, Billy. I would think not. Don't give up until there's nothing left. Mali Obama dropped her name last name. Really? So what's she going by now? That's very interesting. I did not know that. It goes on, and then Bill Clinton also got dropped today at the Diddy trial. Earlier today, Barack Obama mentioned by an assistant, thanks to the Punisher, which is literally the name of one of the guys come in, the witnesses. This trial is getting wild, folks. It came as the Punisher named Bill Clinton. Will they name Rachel Ray Chandler next? If you know, you know. But Chandler is one of the ones who set up a lot of this stuff. And so here's what happened. Punisher's wild testimony. Diddy dressed in a woman's Islamic burqa, erectile dysfunction, penis implant, freezer meat, Trump hotel, Bill Clinton, and more. Striptease dancer and sex worker Sheree Hayes, who goes by the Punisher, gave a wild testimony in court today detailing the occasions that Diddy hired him. Punisher said Diddy first hired him for a midnight gig at Trump International Hotel in New York City in 2012, give a striptease dance, and overall he's hired by the rapper 8 to 12 times. Punisher said the first night it was just Diddy and Cassie Ventura, and they didn't want him to dance, blah, blah, blah. Couldn't see his face. Yeah, what the Muslim women wear. So Diddy's dressed in a burqa like a woman. This is disgusting stuff, guys. On a different occasion, he was hired and traded the burqa for a baseball cap. I don't want to go into all this, but Punisher said they offered him drugs and marijuana. Punisher stated he's not a weed smoker, but he did pull a Bill Clinton. I'm not a marijuana smoker, but I pulled a Bill Clinton. I was handed a joint. I did not inhale. But anyways, guys, this I'm not going to go too much into the seedy details of this trial. It's just not my regular content. But enough to say that this is not going to be a disappointment. This is picking up. And if everything we think is happening with Trump is true, and I believe it is, where he is positioning himself to deliver justice, this is opening up more doors. So really good stuff. Malia Ann, she goes by now. Huh. Interesting. Alan says, this is why Michelle doesn't want to go back to White House. They said forever that, and this is one of the reasons why people would tell me, you know, everybody last year, oh, they're going to drop Biden and it's going to be Michelle Obama. They're going to drop. And I always told you guys, no, it's not. She does not want to be president. And exactly this is one of the reasons why. Because when you run for president, the dirt gets drug up. And now people are just too good at researching. Diddy was on trial. Well, he wasn't even caught yet when she would have run, but you get the point. And then, of course, the big Mike secret, which absolutely would have been gone after as well. So Michelle never wanted to go into this. And she constantly, she constantly says, I don't want to do anything with politics. And we know why, because politics, it's gross and it leads to exposure. Moody says Molly had dropped the name a while ago so as to be recognized for her own accomplishments, but yeah, right. There you go. Moody, I inhaled but never exhaled. Yeah, if that's possible. And then on the same day this all gets dropped, we have Elon coming out dropping this about Bill Gates.
I do want to ask you about US aid and the comments that Bill Gates made the other day, which, and I know that you called him.
Yeah, he's a huge liar.
I know you've said that already. I wondered,
also,
and I'm just.
Who does Bill Gates think he is to make comments about the welfare of children, given that he frequented Jeffrey Epstein?
Ooh.
Okay, well, he said he regrets those, and he spent a lot of his own money on philanthropy around the world over the years. My question to you is: have you looked at the data to check if he might be right that the cuts to USAID might cost millions of lives?
Yes. I'd like him to show us any evidence whatsoever that is.
I do want to ask you.
After all these years, those of us who've done the work, those of us who did the rabbit trail, those of us who've been paying attention and learning and realizing something's off, we went from being banned everywhere, hidden in corners, talking on Telegram and wherever we could find until True Social came along and Elon freed X. We went from being called the crazies to now being the mainstream. This stuff is out there. It is spreading. And you better believe that as this spreads, as this gets to people, education is the key. The awakening, we are not at the beginning of it anymore. We're in the middle of it. And justice is coming, friends, because as knowledge spreads, you can no longer hide. And when you can't hide anymore, you can't escape. It's coming. And they have every reason now to go after this because we're at the point where this close to the majority of the people demanding it, to the getting so loud. We've been we've been a loud but very small subset now for years. But that is growing and it's getting louder and louder and louder. And we're about to turn the page. It's about to heat up real fast. Alan Kretz, didn't I say Congressman Jeffries was a freak off a Diddy party? Yes. Oh, Hakeem, dollar store Obama with a lisp. he's like the dollar store version of something that's the Chinese version of something you get at the dollar store, but it's also squeaky. That's Hakeem Jeffries. Uncle Ennio, Bill Gates spent money on philanthropy. It's okay what he did to that's what she said. Did you hear her excuse too? Well, he felt bad about it. He felt bad about it. Yeah, that's that. Nobody cares. What's up, lock up? Dave R. Diddy doomed. Amen. Moody says Carney will try and ban X in Canada. I got my Starlink today. He won't, and he won't succeed. There's no way. It won't happen. Canada's just too close to the U.S. Jeffrey Fest is Mark 422. Mark 4:22 off the top of my head is nothing hidden that will not be disclosed. Yeah, somebody quoted that in Luke the other night. Absolutely. You're absolutely right. They must pay their consequences for 100%, guys. Hero says the conspiracy theories are like 158 no now. Well, yes and no. Some conspiracy theorists have gone too far. Some conspiracy theorists have gotten into the, they're like the Trump is controlled by Israel crowd and lizard people. There's a little, I wouldn't say 158 no. I'd say like 130 and 20. That's about more fair. But, definitely way more right than wrong. Vince says, are we getting Nasara Jassara? I don't believe in that, Vince, honestly. I believe that there will be a great golden age of wealth and a wealth transfer. But the idea of Nasara Gassara, this idea that, one day the fingers will be snapped and all of us will be completely debt-free and wealthy, and it's just like that. I don't believe in that. I think that's one of those things that's just not going to be proven true. I'd love to be proven wrong. I just have never seen the evidence that actually is strong enough for that. But, I'm occasionally wrong. Timu Jeffries. Uncle Eddie says, I wouldn't count out lizard people being a thing. For me, it always comes back to the Bible. And there's just no room for lizard people from a biblical context. So you add that to the fact there's no historical evidence except for some odd things here and there that aren't necessarily verifiable. I just can't go there. Oh, we're bringing up the Barbara Bush thing, McLovin. I'm not going out to that. I'm not going to do that one, but there's some compelling evidence there. Toe Cramps with me on Nasara. Yeah, that one's tough. I just can't go there. Carney's wife too. Dude, there's some strange ones. Obviously, the most obvious is in France. But all right. But listen, guys, this is just I don't think Q posted about Nasara Gassara unless he said it wasn't true. Like with Flat Earth. He said Flat Earth wasn't real. But the giants in the Bible were all killed, Alan. They were wiped out. So the flood knocked out the Nephilim. And then there were some giants that came out of, I believe it was Ham's blood, not our Ham, but Noah's son Ham had some blood of Nephilim in him, which giants came out of later, which led to Anak and the sons of Anak, of which Goliath was one. And so the giants were in Canaan, and most of them died off or were killed off. And then Caleb asked Joshua for the land of the giants so he could take his people up there and wipe out the rest of the giants. And after that, there's never a mention of giants again in the Bible. So according to biblical history, the giants were completely wiped out. They all died. So Jeffrey, you could say seed of the serpent, lizard people, but that just doesn't line up biblically. I mean, that would be what we call Jewish mysticism. It's not. There's no room for it in an actual biblical understanding. So the only thing would be a connection to Nephilim, but like I just said, it was all biblically speaking, the Nephilim were all wiped out completely. And then the giants, which were what was left over of their bloodline, was completely wiped out. So I'm just telling you guys, that's the biblical timeline. And since we've had no evidence of giants, anything ancient, no, Goliath was not after that, Jeffrey. Goliath was, oh, you're right. He was after Caleb, but Goliath wasn't what we think of when we're talking about giants. He was 9'6", which is huge. But again, after Goliath, when's another giant mentioned? Okay. So I'm just saying there's no, they fade out. It's pretty clear. But you are right. He was, he survived after Caleb. So Siegel, I disagree. I think the Bible doesn't have all the books, but it's got all the books that are canon. And I'm not going to get into all that. I've taught on it before about how the Bible was canonized, and it's very difficult to disagree with. Watch Wesley Huff. If you guys have any questions about the extra biblical books or the books that aren't in the canon of the Bible, watch Wesley Huff's channel on YouTube. The man is a genius historian. biblical scholar, and he breaks it down in ways that are just, it's impossible to disagree with the man. But I would go watch his stuff. I'm not going to get into it. Yeah, we got way in the weeds, guys. We got way in the weeds. Okay, so okay. Anyways, enough about the conspiracy stuff. Let's get back to where to what's happening now, because that's ultimately what matters. We could speculate all night. I could do that all day, but that's not what we're doing tonight. All right, so Trump dropped this tonight again and again on the substance of we're building up to justice. Listen,
because the Democrats have really hurt our country. And we are going to go into very much, so remember what I said, the auto pay. This government was illegally run for 4 years. Thank you very much, everybody.
Trump's out there calling out that the 4 years of Biden were completely auto pen illegally run. So is it possible that they're going to go after undoing everything Biden did? That would just be massive, because that could include a Supreme Court Justice, Ketanji Brown. So we're getting more and more of these things dropping. And then Trump dropped this, which if you know, you know. Well, let me read it. Joe Biden was not for open borders. He never talked about open borders where criminals of all kinds, shapes, and sizes can flow into our country at will. It wasn't his idea to open the border and almost destroy our country. It cost us hundreds of billions of dollars to get criminals out of our country and go through the process we're going through now. It was the people that knew he was cognitively impaired and took over the auto pen. They stole the presidency of the United States, put us in great danger. This is treason at the highest level. They did it to destroy our country. Joe Biden, that everybody knew, would never allow drug dealers, gang members, mentally insane to come into our country, totally unchecked and unvetted. All anyone has to do is look up his record. Something very severe. There it is. Something very severe should happen to these treasonous thugs that wanted to destroy our country, but couldn't because I came along. Military tribunals, folks, you think? Treason? You know, we're not there yet. We haven't crossed that road yet. But everything we've been talking about, guys, for years now, about what could happen, there are signs that it just might be getting there. So it's getting very interesting. Very interesting. I love you guys with all the conspiracy talk. I tell you what, members, tomorrow night, members live, jump on and we can go conspiracy all you want. If you guys want to talk conspiracy, let's go tomorrow on the members live and I'll open it up to whatever you guys want to talk about. All right. Alan says they know who is in charge of the op-ed. You better believe they know. Absolutely they know. Brett says, is auto pen like a Sharpie asking for a friend? I love it. Vince, I did not see your question on 9/11, so it must have been deleted. Must have been deleted. Brett says, hit the like and subscribe. Thank you very much, Brett, for reminding me. Please hit the like, guys. Subscribe, all that good stuff. If you're on X, follow. Rumble, I see a couple of you over there, but nobody's chatting tonight, so that's okay. God bless you if you're over on Rumble. And then on X, I can't see your comments, but I'll read them later. So thank you so much. But everybody on YouTube, I can watch you. Moody says, is treason punishable by capital punishment in the U.S.? 100% it is. Treason is it's very open to the death penalty. Yeah, so we don't mess around with treason. Also, treason can be tried by military tribunal, which is a much faster, efficient way of getting through the courts. So yeah, you can. It can get pretty interesting once you get into this treason area. Johnny says Trump just forced them to start pointing the blame finger at each other. Well, yeah. Charlie says KJP needs to be in jail. Obama basically had 3 terms. There's a great argument for that. Absolutely. Born Free. We'll talk about that tomorrow, Born Free. Get in the membership, man. Get in the members live. We'll talk about conspiracies tomorrow. Yeah, Alan says it could be a long night. That's okay. I like the military. The members. The members' lives are made. They're designed by design to get me talking on whatever you guys want. So I'm fine with rabbit holes on members live. Uncle Andy says, were the Rosenbergs last time U.S. executed people for treason? That's a great question. That is a great question. Let me look that up real quick. Who was the last U.S. citizen for treason? Wow, William Bruce Mumford in 1862. But there were other people convicted that weren't killed. I can't go through the whole list, but anyways, pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. So it wasn't the Rosenbergs though. Brett, there's got to be a way we can incorporate Gavin Newsom. I don't even want to try. Cato, I mean, I'm sure he'll get. He's related to Pelosi, so you know he's part of a crime syndicate. Cato, do you think Diddy will be guilty? Yes, I do. At first, it was kind of interesting. It didn't look like they might get there, but the last couple days, things have really picked up. On top of this, Hegseth today announced an investigation of the U.S. military withdrawal from Afghanistan. Here's the official letter. On August 26, 2021, Biden's administration led a chaotic withdrawal of U.S. military and embassy officials that led to the death of 13 U.S. service members. Over the last 3 months, departments engaged in review of this catastrophic event. I've concluded we need to conduct a comprehensive review. To meet this imperative, I'm directing Assistant to Secretary of Defense for Public Affairs and Senior Advisor Sean Parnell. Sean Parnell's no joke, guys. He's awesome. Thoroughly examine previous investigation to include, but not limited to, finding of facts, sources, witnesses, and analyze the decision making that led to one of America's darkest and deadliest international moments. Team will ensure accountability to the American people. So, guys, this is big. I'm telling you, this is big stuff. We are getting it. You guys wanted arrests. You guys wanted trials. You guys wanted justice. It's starting. It's starting, but it's a process. It's a process, and it's got to play out, but it's starting. I mean, we've seen just judges arrested. Now, I mean, things are picking up. Things are picking up fast. Okay, so Google was wrong. It says Rosenberg was convicted and killed. So there you go. Alan Krantz, 5 memberships. Thank you, Alan. Now more people get into the members live tomorrow and talk about conspiracies. Mario, welcome back in, buddy. David Thomas, Diggy Kirk, Alex, welcome in. Joe Asiki, welcome in, guys. Check out the members live tomorrow and get in the Discord. Cato says, after Cash and Mangino revelation about Epstein, I'm not sure I completely trust the Trump admin. Listen, man, all I know is Cash is legit, and so I also believe Bongino is. Okay, but I believe in Cash 100%. What they said is what they said. Either they know something we don't, and they're actually trying to get us back on track, or they're running cover for something. I don't believe they are, that for some they're working on, I should say, not to hide it, not to keep it out of from anything happening. So Cato, you can make your choice on that. That's fine. You don't have to trust. I'm trusting until the end of the 4 years. I've already made that decision. So until the end of the 4 years, as long as we get what we want by the end of that 4 years, I am just all in trusting on the Trump administration. You're right, Moody. The congresswoman arrested too, and a mayor in New Jersey. They are going to court. So Vince says, love the consistency idea as long as I'm not coming on midnight. Oh, the conspiracy idea? Yeah, tomorrow? Yeah, man. Come in. Let's go. So this is huge from Hegseth. I wanted to share these. Oh, wait. Oh, Hero with 10 memberships. That's awesome, Hero. Thank you, sir, for so generous. You guys are the best, man. I love you guys. You guys just humble me with your generosity. Romero, Clay Schoolfield, Tigman, Bulldozer, Tammy, welcome in. Dips, you're in, bud. You're in, man. Welcome into the membership. You guys better show up tomorrow now. You guys owe it to Hero and Alan. Tokram says Cash is 100% legit. They know what they're doing. You can't blather everything to the public right away. Exactly. I completely agree with that, Toe. And Brett reminds everybody, like and subscribe. Why not? Why not? Build, get the channel out there. You guys know what you like. What's up, Mark? Good to see you, man. Good to see you, man. You're going back to the beginning. That's all right. Johnny Strayhorn says Cash and Patel have their and Dan have their poker face on. That's what I'm saying. Vince, have a vote on. Why are you so mean to Eric? All right. Speaking of changing my mind on somebody, have you guys seen the Marco Rubio clips from today? Well, I hope not, because I'm about to show you. I don't want to spoil it, but he was at a hearing today, and it is awesome. I picked two of my favorite clips to show to you guys. But remember when everybody was like, "Hey, Rubio's deep state, he's neocon," which, you know what? I think for a while he definitely flirted with it. Okay, but I remember telling you guys, you know what? I always felt like Marco's heart was probably in the right place. He just got caught up in the wrong side, and I think he's become full MAGA. And everybody's like, "We'll see." And I'm telling you, Little Marco is now Big Marco. Grande Marco. He has arrived, and he is spitting it out. This man's MAGA through and through. And once you see these clips, you're going to get why I say this. This is awesome. Check these out. This is with him and Tim Dummy Kane.
But I'm going to ask you, so a well-justified fear of persecution?
Yeah, they thought that their farms were being burned down and they would be killed. I think that's a pretty good justification for wanting to come. They're afraid for their lives.
And should it be applied in an even-handed way? That's an easy.
No, our farm.
They're talking about the South African farmers who came over here. And of course, because they're not white, the Democrats hate that we brought white people over to America. And so Tim Kaine's got to make a deal of it, and he's grilling Rubio over.
Our foreign policy doesn't require even-handedness. It requires prioritizing the interests of the United States.
The phrase says you are entitled to entrance as a refugee if you demonstrate a well-justified fear of persecution.
No, you're not entitled.
So can you have a different standard based upon the color of somebody's skin? Would that be acceptable?
Well, I'm not the one arguing that. Apparently you are, because you don't like the fact that they're white, and that's why they're coming.
I'm just asking you to say that would be unacceptable.
Well, no, I would say that the United States,
a very easy thing to say.
The United States has a right to pick and choose who they allow into the United States.
Even based on the color of somebody's skin.
You're the one that's talking about the color of their skin, not me. These
are
people whose farms were being burned down and they were killed because of the color of their skin.
Well,
Well, you've demonstrated enough, because you think anyone should be allowed into this country for any reason because they met a certain criteria.
Who has said that?
We are going to prioritize people that come into our country on the basis of what's in the interest of this country. That's a small number of people that are coming.
But you said this weekend that
in other cases, it's harder to vet. In other cases, it's more difficult. And by the way, the United States admits people every year.
Boom, guys. Boom. Did you hear what Marco slipped in there? Kane was yelling at him, but he said, "You don't like it because they're white." It's unbelievable. We actually have these people saying this stuff now. I can't tell you, as somebody who's been watching politics my whole life since in my teens, just got hooked. I've waited my entire life. I'm 41, so I'm not that old. Well, to some of you, I'm ancient, but I've been waiting my whole life for somebody in politics on my side to actually say the things I've been wanting them to say. It feels so good. It feels so good. And he followed it up with this one right here, which just another absolute gem.
And I have to tell you directly and personally that I regret voting for you for Secretary of State. I yield back.
May I respond?
You may sit.
Well, first of all, your regret for voting for me confirms I'm doing a good job based on what I know.
Well, that's just a flippant statement, Mr. Secretary.
Can I respond, Mr. Chairman?
You may. I didn't ask.
Senator, please let the Secretary.
I'd be happy to, but then I can respond to his.
Your time's up, Senator. And
Rubio, man, he has learned from Trump. He is like, to say that is so bold to say in a Senate hearing that the fact that you regret voting for me means I'm doing a good job. That's awesome. I'm sorry, but I gotta say, man, what I've wanted to see from Rubio, the hope I had for Rubio, my life, because I think I've told you guys this before, but in 2016, Rubio was my number one pick in the primaries. I was enjoying Trump, but I didn't know what I know now. I thought Rubio I thought he had a good heart. I thought he was a legit conservative. And I was going to vote for him. And then I had my God experience with Trump and all that, and the rest is history. But I've always had a soft spot for Rubio, and I always hoped he'd come around, and now he's become what I always hoped he'd be. Rubio is awesome. And the talk is starting to bubble that 2028 is going to be Vance, Rubio VP. And I cannot tell you how freaking awesome that ticket would be. That is an unbeatable ticket with what is happening right now. You have Vance, who everybody just loves, is like the best political talent I've ever seen, and who's legit populist MAGA. And then Rubio, the old school guy who's been reborn, who has the record of service that is just amazing. He'd be maybe the top 3 most experienced VPs in history. Plus, he's just getting better. I mean, that ticket, if it's really Vance Rubio, whoo, watch out, folks. It's going to be a wild 8 more years. And I will say it, it'll be another 8 years. Because who on the Dems could possibly beat that ticket? So I'm getting stoked. It's I just love what I'm seeing. All right, I got one more thing I wanted to share before I get to the markets and finger. All right, but this is, I do have a man crush on JD and Marco, and I'm not afraid to admit it, just Mike. Please like and subscribe. Thank you, Brett. 213 watching on YouTube, and we're not even at 100 likes yet. Could you guys just please take 1 second, hit that like? I really, really appreciate it. YouTube does not like my videos because I'm a conservative who speaks the truth and doesn't go with the media narratives. So they don't always crush my videos, but they don't like to spread them. So please hit that like, help it get out there a little more. And if you want to make sure you don't miss my videos, subscribe, because they try to take away the notifications on subs all the time. So at least you have a chance. And if you really like it and you want to get in the members' lives, like tomorrow, where apparently we're going to go deep on conspiracies, which should be fun, hit that join button. It's only $3. Get in. What was this? Butter says, speaker went on to say his senator abused his time. Oh, I didn't see that. See, I missed it. I watched the first hour and of that hearing, and so I didn't get to see the whole part of that. But I think Barron Trump needs to be the next round. He can't. He's got to be 35 to run for president. So Barron's got 16 or 17 years before he could run for president. All right, check this out, guys. And again, this is the last thing I'm going to share before getting to the markets. This is a final breakdown of what happened in the 2024 election, the swing from 2020. Okay, so they've finally gone through all the data. And this, my friends, is wild. And if this doesn't get you stoked for the future of our country, the trend, the way we trended, I don't know what will. Because this proves that the country is, it wasn't just Trump barely squeaked one out. The whole country shifted majorly. You have men plus 12 over 2020. Women even won up plus 2. In the races, Trump won. He gained with white, black, Hispanic plus 18 and plus 9 with Asians, which is insane. This is doom for the Democrats. 18 to 29 years old, Trump gained 12 points. That's the future, friends, because the next election, this should only continue. And if the trend is continuing with Zoomers, my kids' generation, my older kids, they're going to be even more conservative. GOP, Trump didn't lose anything. All right, plus 5. He's got the Republicans locked up. Who cares about the Democrats, even though Trump did gain 1 point there? But the middle, Trump plus 8. College educated, Trump gained with. No college he gained with. Urban areas, he gained 12. That is absolutely massive. In the rural areas, he basically got 70% of the vote. I mean, I'm just telling you, it's crazy the whole way through. And it says the Obama coalition turned into the Trump coalition. In other words, friends, look at that map. Look at that map. Unless Trump completely destroys the economy, JD Vance and Rubio or whoever Vance runs with is going to be a shoo-in in 2028. And I actually think they'll win with more votes than Trump won. I do. I think that they'll win more, and I think they'll get 8 years, almost guaranteed, because this was not just an election win. This was a cultural shift. And because MAGA is pure, and what I mean by that is that MAGA is actually led by politicians who say what they are going to do and then do it. They're not playing politics, because we have that. And it's for the first time in my life we have that. Even Reagan played politics. We haven't seen this since JFK. Okay. And then they killed him and they co-opted his party after. This is different because in the modern age with the internet, that's just not going to happen. The people are too educated and it's too easy to follow. So this, my friends, I'm telling you, we're looking at least, in my opinion, this is my humble opinion, but we're looking at least 12 to 20 years of a growing conservative country getting back to basics, where MAGA will be the main party in the country. It doesn't mean we might not lose an election in 8, 10 years, 12 years, because they have a great candidate and it squeaks out and they play to the middle. That's very possible, but the country as a base, they won't be able to rule as lefties. We defeated them. We really did. So Butter says, I think Lara Trump will be JD's partner. I just don't think so. I don't see the Trumps running, but that would be interesting. But Laura now is releasing music records, so I don't think she's too interested in politics anymore, although she did a great job with the RNC. Okay, let's get to the markets, because I know you guys want to talk about Finger and where we're at. All right. The Warren Buffett indicator hit 193%, second highest level of all time. You can see it right here. Every other time it spiked like this, you have 2000, the crash in 2000, 07 it peaked, and then it crashed in 08. We had the terrible year of 2020 for the markets where it was up here, and now we just peaked again. So every time in recent history in the last 25 years when this has peaked, we have seen a major market correction and or recession as well. Then we had this great clip where with Charles Payne that I want to play for you guys. And it's just, to me, it's more validation that our hypothesis on what's coming is completely right. Listen to what Charlie says.
And as the small caps look intriguing, but let's just start with the S&P 500. We've come in a
Sorry, it's a little quiet, so turn up your volume.
short period of time, wanted a record-breaking sort of rebound. What are you expecting from here? A little bit of consolidation?
We do expect some digestion. We have gotten to the point where the S&P 500 did get slightly overbought on Friday. So after a move that's so far so fast, not surprising to see it digest. We think the most important thing for this equity market, though, is that institutional positioning is still relatively underweight. We haven't even gotten back to neutral, which means that a lot of professional institutional investors have sat on the sidelines of this rally.
So the institutions have, but here's the thing. It's just all the so-called smart money hedge funds are still short like crazy. They're going to get crushed, I think. Then you have those fund managers. And
do you hear that? Hedge funds, institutional money are still short like crazy, and they're going to get crushed. That's us, folks. That's us.
In the March survey, 24% saying they're getting out of U.S. equities. I never saw anything like that before. Institutions, Liberation Day, they bailed. The China 90-day pause, they kind of got back in, and we're still not even in equilibrium. What does this mean, though? Is this potentially suggest buying coming from some smart money?
It means the pain trade is still higher. And even look at a day like today. Futures were indicating down over 1% this morning, but people stepped in and bought. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that the rally has big, huge legs higher and we go back to new all-time highs. It just says that once we get back to more neutral or overweight positioning, maybe some of these fundamental challenges, high valuations, falling earnings estimates, that's when those start to become a bigger problem for equities.
So,
Ooh, it's getting spicy in the markets, guys. The hedge funds are not positioned well. So pretty I wanted you guys to hear that because that's Charlie Payne, another market guy, big type, saying our hypothesis is correct that the shorts are about to get crushed. So really good stuff there. Dirty Red asks, quick question, is Ham meeting Bondi Monday? I don't know if he's meeting Monday. I heard he's leaving Friday. I need to talk to him, but he's been very busy, and so have I. I don't know when he's meeting him, but I do believe it's this weekend. And speaking of Ham meeting Bondi, Kirsten Chauncey reports today, the U.S. DOJ, Bondi, announces substantial strategic shifts in white-collar crime enforcement. I love it. That's exciting. The counterfeit shares flooding our financial markets check all the boxes here. Notably, memo emphasized substantial threats posed by white-collar crime and the impact of such crimes, including the exploitation of government programs, erosion of public trust in financial markets, that's us, and threats to national security. Focus, prioritize the high-impact white-collar crimes that threaten our economy, national security, and financial integrity. Conduct by financial institutions or insiders that threaten U.S. national security, including sanctions violations or enabling transactions by cartels, blah, blah, blah. Not as much for us. Crimes that involve digital assets and willful violations that facilitate significant criminal activity. Companies and individuals should nonetheless anticipate robust white-collar enforcement efforts, but in changing ways. A refocusing of resources on cases that have national security implications and create risks to the government's economic interests. Shift away from multi-year compliance-focused investigations and monitorships. Shift towards faster, more attention-grabbing headlines. That, my friends, is exciting. And right as they put this out there, Ham is going up to Bondi. I love it. That makes me really excited. I'm getting excited. If you guys haven't gained anything from my lives the last week or so, I'm trying to really show you that there are signs of justice mounting up everywhere and especially in politics and especially in our markets. That's huge, and that's what we've been praying for and what we've been fighting for. The signs are there that momentum is building, and that's extremely, extremely exciting, and everybody should be excited by that. Brett reminds everybody, like and subscribe. Thank you so much, Brett, for reminding everybody. Please, guys, take that second. Hit that like button. All right, let's keep going. Here's Ham. Finger, if you speak with the SEC, here is today. Naked shorts attack. Last minute of the day, blasted out 70K, always lower. Today, I don't know if you guys watched the trading today. Most of the day was kind of boring, except for that we were green. And then at the end of the day, a massive attack came in and knocked us from about 407, 408 down to the 380s. Just crushed us. And this was the last minute of the day. And then, I'm not even kidding, with 30 seconds left, we popped back up to 403, which is where I believe we closed. Just a crazy swing in the last 2 minutes of the day. They tried to beat us down under 4 for the day, and we broke them, which is huge. And it just more proof, guys. We are winning this, even though it's going slow. But that was an all-out attempt to knock us down at the end of the day, and it was beaten back. It was really fun to see. Kit shares the latest cost to borrow. It just keeps going up. So we're around 306 to 333. It says latest 332. I know this isn't the end all be all, but guys, you see it just climbing. And what this does show us is that even if it's not the trigger, it is pressure on the real shorts. Okay, because they are paying more to keep us down, and as this continues, it's choking them more and more. And so it is exciting. And I know Pedro really poo-pooed these numbers. I get it. He's not wrong, but I don't think they don't mean that. It's not that they mean nothing. Okay. And I do think it's important to keep an eye on them because it's just something to watch. We don't have a lot of indicators. And so I think every little one helps. Okay. So, and then we got this news today. Today was a big day. It really was. Us breaking above 4 at the end of the day was huge, in the green again. But also, guys, this other news that's going on, like this right here. Anson Group, somebody found that they currently have no position in finger motion. What does that mean? Well, it means that at some point they went from almost 1 million. They've been covering to get out. They've been covering to get out. They saw the risk and they're out. Now, is that the reason we've spiked so far? Maybe, but it tells you that they're in big trouble, the shorts are, and they don't want anything to do with finger, which means that if the real shorts are getting out, and remember, the real short number is actually higher right now than it's been. So Anson got out, somebody else was getting in. But if this keeps going, others are getting out, smart groups are getting out, folks. It tells you that the other guys with the the big shorts are probably feeling the pain and the pressure. So Donna says she bought 213 shares of Finger today and the market opened at 370. Donna, way to catch the low. That's huge. That's huge. I love it. I saw something today I never seen in Finger before. So we've seen bashers, we've seen shills, right? I've seen them all the time. Well, today I saw bots that I'd never seen before. So I screenshot them to share. But look at this. Jenny 25. I hold Finger long term because I believe in its growth potential and strong fundamentals. As an assistant financial institution, I also have some insights into their performance. Oh, do you, Jenny? Thanks. Let's see what the other bot has to say. Simply Dell. I believe it has growth potential and strong fundamentals. As an assistant in a financial institution, wait, what are the odds here? The two anime girls are assistants in financial institutions and believe in the strong potential. What? They think we don't see this stuff. It's crazy. So why are they sending the bots in, guys? We've gone from the bashers. We got the shills. Maybe these ones are coming along to try to gain some trust in us as these assistants in financial institutions and then to turn their backs on us at the last moment. I don't know, but they're definitely trying to get some thirsty fellas. I mean, look at these. I mean, I know it's anime, but it's, they're pretty anime. Some guys are into that, not me, but whatever. I know guys that are, my weird friends from college. I actually haven't talked to them in 20 years. There's probably a good reason for that. But they were definitely into the anime girls. Anyways, but the point is it's weird. And it shows you that we're getting a lot of attention in Finger. And then finally, we got a little Richard's rumor time. Now, somebody came after me today or the other day for sharing Richard's stuff. I went back through Richard's rumors, and I got to tell you, most of them have come true. And a lot of the other ones are TBD, so to be decided. Listen, I don't know Richard, but I follow his stuff because a lot of it's come true, especially in G-Bucks. And he says today, Finger, I'm hearing shareholders have been getting returned calls from SEC enforcement officials regarding Jeff Easton and Lynn Partners. Are they finally waking up? So somebody was getting a return call from the SEC. In other words, somebody who's called the SEC to report this, which remember, guys, Ham used to have us call all the time to report crimes at the SEC. Said getting return calls from the SEC, calling these people, asking about Jeff Easton and Partners. So the SEC is investigating. The SEC is investigating, which should get everybody excited. I think really good stuff's coming. Bird says, in regards to Elon's interview today, I noticed Elon was possibly wearing the same jacket given to him from an Israel victim who attended the concert tech. No, I didn't notice that. Yeah, I mean, I don't have time to catch all the details on all the stuff, but that is very interesting. What's up, Kim Wiley? Good to see you. Seven Norsemen, bring it to the members live tomorrow. We can talk about Giants there. Brett says, I didn't know they had phones at the SEC. Well, they ignore us enough to make you feel like, you want it. All right, listen. Last thing I want to talk about tonight before we end is there's been a lot of going after the Paul Atkins from his comments yesterday. Remember, I did a video on it. It's Paul Atkins a crook because of this. Yesterday, Paul Atkins made this comment about the CAT system and looking into it because it cost $250 million and wasn't sure it's worth it. And everybody freaked out, and for good reason for the most part. The CAT system is one of those things that retail investors have clung to as like our answer to getting our wins, to getting everything recorded. And I get that. I totally understand that. But, I am in a place where I choose to trust this administration, and I believe they're doing what's right for us. And even though I don't know Atkins, he's only been there 3 weeks. We haven't seen anything from him yet. I chose the other route. And instead of calling him out, is to be like, maybe there's some to this that we don't know. That's how I like to think. I'm very skeptical, and I don't just freak out over stuff at face value. So if somebody on my team is criticizing something that I actually don't know enough about, I go researching. So looking into the CAT system today, I'm sorry, I didn't look into the CAT system. I listened to a hearing with Paul Atkins today with in front of the House. And it was about 2 hours. It was on YouTube. I was one of about 70 people watching it. I can tell you, I was doing the dirty work for you guys today. Nobody was watching this. But 2 Republican reps from flyover states, Missouri and Iowa, both brought up concerns about the CAT system stealing retail's data. And they wanted Paul Atkins to look into it. Now, I thought it was interesting because not one other rep brought it up. Not a New York rep, not a Chicago rep, not somebody who was defending the CAT system and telling him not to do it. And trust me, the Democrats grilled him over other stuff. So the only comments about the CAT system brought up in that entire hearing were negative. And Paul Atkins said he'd look into it. And so it made me think, who created the CAT system? Well, the same people who got us here. All right. Same people who got us here in the first place, this mess. They created it. Who instituted it? Gary Gensler and Joe Biden. I don't trust either one of them. I don't trust anybody in that administration or at the SEC during that time. And so while the CAT system might be perfectly great, and while it might actually be what they tell us it is, I'm actually choosing to be on the skeptical side and say maybe the CAT system sucks. And maybe it was being used to rob us instead of help us. It's all possible. And you know what? It could be true either way. And it could be true. It's just a great tool and it was used the wrong way. And now they could use it the right way. I don't know. But in regards to this, I just want everybody to take a chill pill and think maybe the person on our side who came from our team is actually trying to tell us that the thing that we thought was going to be great, that literally has not done one good thing for us yet, guys, in 2 years. Maybe that's right. And maybe we're the ones wrong for thinking the CAT system was going to be great. It's just a thought, and we're going to find out. But I'm not leaping to this. Paul Atkins is a crook because he wants to shut down the CAT system. $250 million to run a software. His country says you can do it for much cheaper. $250 million for this software that has not delivered anything for retail yet and is being investigated for stealing retail's information and selling it. There was a couple concerning things in the hearing. So I've argued with a couple people about this. I haven't put it out on X, my thoughts, but Alan, it was a woman Iowa rep. I can't remember her name. She was a Republican though. And the other guy was from Missouri. She was blonde and pretty. So Anyways, but they brought it up, and I thought that was very interesting. And so it gave me a little more insight into it. And I just figured, you know what? I'm going to be on Paul Atkins' side until he proves me otherwise, instead of jumping to conclusions and defending something that was created by the enemy. Okay. That's how I'm looking at it. And I'm not asking you guys to agree with me, but I am asking you to take a second and think about it. Why do you trust the CAT system in the first place? Okay. Yes, Alan, it was Henson. Good job. Is Hester a fester? I like it, Moody. Butters, I bet you're right. Dirty Red says, forget the cat. What about Ham today saying his dog? I forgot. That's my favorite thing that happened today. Thank you, Dirty. You reminded me. I don't know if you guys listened to Ham's call today, but if you guys want a signal that I think we're at the right place, that we're about to win, Ham's story about his dog who got a boner that wouldn't go away, and he had to take it to the vet to get the dog help. It's the greatest story I've heard in a while. And Ham telling it was unbelievable. So I'm taking that as a very bullish sign that we're close. Brett says, Palantir, how software to figure out how acceptance and trades for government defense software. I don't know why they didn't just incorporate in the stock market. And maybe they wanted to. I don't know. But, these are good questions about the CAT system that need to be answered. Yeah, Alan, I guess you know her. She seemed great, but you might know her better than I do. If she's a crook, I didn't know that. But anyways, yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed that Ham story. We'll I don't know if I could top that, so that'll be our closer for the night. But yeah, if it lasts for 4 hours, that's moody. I didn't know that was in regards to puppies too, but apparently it is. Anyways, we got to get out of here. Tomorrow, guys, we have members live. Apparently, we're going to do some conspiracy stuff. Should be fun. You guys should jump in on that. And of course, as always, I'll update on Finger and anything else I see. Oh, that's crazy, country. Wow. Joe says Ham's dog had a rocket. We're going to move. I love it. I love it. All right. Well, feel kind of dirty, but you know what? We still can pray. That's the good thing about God. He's not going to judge us for good laughs. All right. So, yeah, maybe his dog still, maybe he got one of Ham's Viagra's or Cialis. That's amazing. I love it. That's so funny. So funny. I'll have to ask Ham on his spare time. Anyways, all right, let's pray. We got to get out of here. Heavenly Father, thank you for today. Thank you for laughs, God, and great stories. Thank you for good signs that good things are happening and things are being exposed and justice is coming. I pray for everybody in this chat. You give us wisdom and knowledge, God, and how to navigate these crazy times, especially if we're trading and investing for our future and taking these risks. But I do believe, God, you've led us here and that we'll get rewarded for the fight we've been in and all the losses we've taken over the years as we've been robbed by corruption and thievery in the markets. And God, we pray for President Trump and his team for protection and wisdom, God, as they navigate this insanity of getting our country back on track. Just help them, Lord, to do that. Get us truly into the golden age. And I pray, God, that they navigate it so well that they continue to set up what could be a wonderful future for decades and decades to come. And so thank you for that, Lord. And thank you for getting us here in the first place. It could have been so much worse if November had gone the other way. So we thank you for the miracles you've already given us. And we just ask that everything that was started, God, is finished. And bless everybody here, especially Thomas with his cancer and anybody else who needs healing. Bless us in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, guys. Love you all. Have a great night. Thank you for the laughs. It was a good time. And please like and subscribe on your way out. Follow if you're on X or Rumble. And just love you guys. Oh, yeah. And the thank you, Brett. The Discord link is on the members post on the channel page. So go to the YouTube channel, Ace Report, click where it says, I think it's community or posts. Click there. And if you're a member, you'll see the Discord link. Jump on in And it's a lot of fun 24/7 in the Discord. All right. Love you guys. Have a great night. Members Live tomorrow. I'll see you members then. And everybody else, see you Thursday. Take care. Good night.